Hi and welcome. I'm joined by 5 Eurovision fans and we're ready to discuss one of this year's Eurovision entries. My name is Charlotte, I'm from Denmark and I'll be your host today. Now let's meet our panel of Eurovision fans before we start talking about the Swiss entry. Luke, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Luke, I'm 29 years old, I am from Malta and I live in Malta and everyone in my family is Maltese and I have been a Eurovision fan since 1998 when I watched my first Eurovision.
Hi, my name is Josef, I'm 29 years old, I'm from the Czech Republic and I'm a fan of Eurovision since 2007 when Czech Republic made its debut at Eurovision in Helsinki, and the first time I was at Eurovision as a journalist was in 2016 in Sweden.
Hi, my name is Liza. I'm from Denmark. I work in the customer support for the largest cinema chain in Denmark. I'm currently being at home waiting for my work to open up again.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm from Scotland and been a Eurovision fan for a long time. I'm just going to say before we get into the video that in the 1980s, Switzerland was my favourite 6 years out of the 10. So that'll be my excuse when you hear what I've got to say about it this year.
Hi, my name is Alberte. I'm 21 years old and I live in Denmark. I've been watching Eurovision since 2010 and I've been a fan since 2014. My best friend and I watch it together every year and we have done so since 2014. So that's very nice.
The song we'll talk about today is from Switzerland. They have reselected their participant from last year. This is a participant who has taken part in talent shows in Albania, France and Switzerland. And now we'll see if Eurovision perhaps can give him an even broader audience. He brings us a very dramatic video, probably one of the most dramatic videos this year. But let's talk about the song. What do you guys think about it? Starting with Luke.
Well, last year Switzerland was my absolute favorite. I really loved Répondez-moi. So I kind of, when I heard that Switzerland was going with the same thing, I was like, had really high hopes for it. And then when I heard the song, I kind of was a bit disappointed because I did not like it as much as Répondez-moi. But then when I heard it again and again and again, it was kind of like grew into me and I was like hooked with the song, but I still prefer a lot last year than this year.
And Josef?
Well, last year Switzerland was my number one, so I was really hoping for something good this year, and my hopes were fulfilled and my wishes are also. Because I really love Tout l'univers, because I think it kept the same style as Gjon Steers had last year, but I think this is a little bit more dynamic compared to last year's song, which was more or less in this very similar dynamics and strength of his voice. And this one is really well produced, I would say. Maybe partly also because part of the production team is are those who were working with Duncan on his arcade, and the similarities are very recognizable. So I'm really loving it, and as I also loved Luca Henne in 2019, so Switzerland in the last few years is really my top country.
And Lisa, what do you think about it?
I don't like it. Last year, I think Switzerland second last favorite or something like that. Was second last or something. It was very low. This year, I actually have Switzerland a little bit higher, and that's because his voice is not so squeaky and a shrill voice as I think it was last year. That was really, my ears were bleeding, and my ears are not bleeding so much this year. And also that it's a bit more up in the tempo, very little up in the tempo as last year. I think it's better, but oh no, I still have it as number 30 on my list this year, so not really anything good for me.
Yeah, I was told by my girls, don't say anything bad about this song because you're going to get slaughtered if you do. And so be it. We'll just have to be slaughtered because I think last year's song was a total drag, and he sent the same song again, just with a little bit of change of words. I accept he's going to be up at the top. I can't see how that's not going to happen. And if Switzerland wins, I'll be quite happy for Switzerland. But for me, this is just extremely dreary. Doesn't go anywhere. Way overrated, in my opinion.
And Alberte, where are you?
I'm here. Well, I am convinced that he's going to win this year. First of all, I love how dramatic he is. Just with an artist name like Gjon's Tears, you just know that it's going to be dramatic. And I really love that he's so dramatic. It's not my personal favorite. It's my 11th. So just below Sugar. But I do think it's a good song and it has a lot of potential. I know that it appeals to a lot of people that he speaks French and sings in French. I know that they do that in Switzerland, but still it appeals to a lot of people when someone sings in French, which I think is a huge plus. And he was the favorite last year, and I know people love him this year as well, or at least the majority of people do, I think. So I think he'll win, or at least place very, very high.
Well, if we talk about how well this song will do, after years of struggling, Switzerland finally did reach the final in 2019 with, I think it was Josef who referred to Lucas Hani. And will they also reach the final again this year? I assume at least Alberte is at least convinced since you think this is the winner this year.
I am 100% convinced that this will go to the final and go at least almost all the way. Like, it will be a top 5. If it won't win, then at least a top 5.
Yeah, it's definitely going to qualify. I want to just point out as well, I don't know if anybody did say it, that written by the same people that wrote Arcade. I loved Arcade. The minute I heard Arcade, I knew it was going to win. But this one just doesn't have it. But he'll definitely go into the final. And they do deserve. Switzerland had a long time absent. So I'm quite happy for them to get to the final.
Yes, I also think it will qualify, but I have a bit with you have with Moldova that when it qualifies, it won't be. I won't be happy, but I know that I'm in a minority here.
And Josef?
Well, here I definitely and completely agree with Alberte. I think it's a 100 billion% sure qualifier. I think nothing can happen for Switzerland not to be in the final, and there it will end up really, really high. And I think that it's a top 3 material.
Yeah, it's definitely going to qualify. When it comes to whether it will win or not, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it will win. Maybe it had a much higher chance of winning the jury vote than the public vote, given that it's Switzerland and given that it's the type of song that it is. But I think it will be top 5 for sure. Top 5 for sure. If it doesn't win, it will come really close. Yeah.
And I quite like the song. I'm sort of in between here with you guys finding it too boring, and then the rest really loving it. It is a tiny bit too boring for me to be a really top song, but I really do like the song. But I actually preferred the one from last year. I don't speak French, but I am really, really annoyed that I don't do, because when I watch the video and look at the English translation of the lyrics, I can't get things to match, and I really want to know what it is the lyrics are saying. So I am really annoyed at myself for not speaking French. So if anyone can give me a really quick French language course, which makes me able to understand this song in like 2 seconds, then I'm all in.
The title says universe. I think it says the whole universe or all of the universe. I'm not sure, I don't speak French either. So you're not alone on this, but I think that's what it means. But I can't say anything about it.
Universe means all of the universe. I used to speak French, but I'm not so good at it anymore. And I haven't looked at the lyrics, so I didn't know I should do that. But I can look at it later, and then I can see if I can help you, Charlotte.
Yeah, thank you. And talking about qualification, I'm not going to go against you guys. I do know that this is going to qualify. This is a sure qualifier. If we use the Eurovision scale 0 to 8, 10, and 12 points to rate this song, I will give it 5 points because I do like the song. It's just a tiny bit too boring to get a higher score. But how many points will you guys give to it? Starting with Alberte?
I'm giving it 8 points because it's not my absolute favorite. It's my 11th, like I mentioned. But I do think it's an incredible song and it has a lot of potential. So 8 points.
I'm going to give it 4 points.
I give it 2 points because it's not the worst this year. I still hate Ukraine and Russia even more, but it's a bad song.
And Josef, I can at least have a pretty good guess that you will give it a lot more.
Sure, I will add 10 more to Liza's 2, so it's a 12 points. It's 12 points for Switzerland.
And Luke?
I'm gonna give it 8 points. It's just in my top 10, but it's in my lower top 10. So I'm gonna give it 8 points.
Does anyone have something they would like to add?
Yes, I just want to point out that this is really a difficult song to sing, live especially. And I think that Gjon Steers proved it in some of the previous live performances of either the last year's entry or this year's, that he really can pull out his vocals and high notes live. So I'm pretty sure that he will also bring the same to Rotterdam to win.
I would like to say that I really wish that Switzerland would do well this year, because if like Alberte said that Sweden is the overrated country of Eurovision, I would say Switzerland is the severely underrated country of Eurovision. I mean, the last 2 years, last year and the year before, they were my first song, and they had really good songs that didn't qualify also for the final. There were a lot. I mean, so I really wish that it will do well. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I really wish that it will do well, because Switzerland deserves to, sometimes they do a really good attempt and just fail.
Well, I want to say I also liked Luca Henni's entry very much. I agree with Josef on that one. I was talking to one of my Swiss friends that year, and he said, but who's going to vote for us in the final? And I told him, well, it comes from being a neutral country. You have no friends. But I also wish that Switzerland would have won with that song, because I liked that one. But I'm not so much into these arcade song or that type, so not this year. So I really don't hope it win, but it's okay for me if it's ends in the top, just not a winner for me.
Yeah, I'll just add, I don't want to be argumentative with you, Josef, by any means, but the high notes is where Gjon sings. That's just where he sings. Try him on a different type of song and he won't be so good. That's all he can do. He does it very well. He does it excellent. But the song is written for him. because that's where his register sits. I'd like to see him try sugar, and it really might be good. But I know the construction of Gjon's tiers is obviously much better than sugar, but I just find sugar more enjoyable, or others more enjoyable. But that's where he sits, and that's why it sounds like he sings it so well.
With that, I would like to say thank you to our panel and to our viewers. We'll soon return with new panel members and the rest of the 2021 songs. Take care, and don't forget to subscribe and follow Eurovisionary. And bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.